So, from today, I'm going to start with the 12th standard prose, which means chapters. Poems are completed. So, I will start with the chapters. I don't know how much videos it will take to complete the one chapter, but I'm going to complete it all together. How much time it will take? I'm going to complete it. First is Astrologer Days 1.1 and Astrologer's Days. Clear? So here the icebreakers are given, like what are your strength? Okay, what are your strength? Your strength could be painting and drawing. We need to, like, this is not painting and drawing, we need to paint. Here the examples are giving, so I can say your strengths are something else, my strengths are something else. You need to write it, right? Clear? So the scene in a local market of village is attractive. People with different occupations sell their wares. Discuss with your partner the variety of activities. So like here in the second icebreaker, they are explaining you. We had went to the different market. Clear? And when we went to the different market, okay, when this went to the different market, okay, when we went to the different market, so what will happen? When we went to the different market, when we went to the different market, so we had seen the attractive things, so we need to discuss that only. Some people are selling flowers, some people are selling grocery. Okay, in village town city is a quite common sight to see an astrologer sitting by the roadside with a professional equipment. So here they are saying like astrologers are, which means in Hindi we can say the Jyotish people are sitting in the market. And now we need to discuss what kind of things he have. The parrot cards, okay, the palm reading, right? Even you had seen somewhere around, if you go not in the market, but you will definitely see in the religious places. Okay, there are certain unreasonable beliefs among people in our society. In our society, certain common events are linked with superstition. Okay, a cat crossing your path, like there are certain events are which is related to your, like, in our society we are believing on some superstitious thing. The one is the cat crossing path. You cannot cut hairs on Monday, you cannot cut your nails in the after the evening, you cannot sit in the north position by eating a food. So these kind of things are there. Okay, now let's come to the very interesting chapter. Who had written an astrologer there? R.K. Narayan. Clear? R.K. Narayan. The Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer. Okay, Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer Narayan Swami is one of the full form of R.K. Narayan is Rasipuram Krishna Swami Narayan Swami is one of the best known novelist among Indian English writer. Okay, one of the best known among Indian English writer. So he's the one of the best known novelist among Indian English writer, and he is author of 14 novels. So he had written 14 novels, 5 volumes of short stories, and the number of travelogues. Right? He had written 14 novels, 5 volumes of short stories, and number of travelogues, and has a collection of non-fiction in his credit. Okay, so the Arkaner has written short stories, travelogues, plus volumes of short stories. Okay, and he has also written his memoir, My Days, Narayan. My Days. Narayan has created an imaginary town of Malgudis where realistic characters in a typical Indian setting live lived amid unpredictable events. So he had written one My Days also, and he had created one imaginary town, Malgudi's Days. Okay, so there are some imaginary characters are there, and this imaginary character are typical Indian, and his stories are grounded in a compassionate humanism. Okay, so his stories are are totally based on humanism and celebrate the humor and energy of ordinary life. Okay, and celebrate the humor and energy of ordinary life. And his stories are characterized by a simple style and subtle spirit. Okay, his stories are characterized by his stories are characteristics by simple style and subtle spirit. Okay, his stories are characteristics by simple style and subtle spirit. Okay, so till now we have understood about the poet Arkanaren is a person who is famous for his simple style and subtle spirit, and he had written short stories, novels, travelogues. Okay, and here famous for he has created a Malgudi Days, and in that he is trying to explain about the Indian typical setting. Okay, Indian. So Narayan was introduced to American written in 1952 by Michigan State University Press. So he was introduced in foreign country Michigan State University, and this include Swami and Friends, the Bachelor of Arts, the Dark Room, Astrologer Day, and Mr. Sampad, the Financial Expert, Waiting for Mahatma, the Guide, and many other books. So basically, he had represented to the American readers in 1952, and he had represented with his books. This kind of books he is represented in with the help of this Michigan University Press. And his novel The Guide won him. His novel The Guide won him the Sahitya Academy Award in. So the one novel The Guide, he's won him a Sahitya Academy Award, the most coveted literary honor in India. His writing is distinguished by humor and unoffending irony. So whatever he is writing is actually unoffending, a unique Indianness and a simplicity which is utterly charming and authentic. Narayan typically portrays the peculiarities of human relationship and paradoxes of Indian life. Okay, Narayan typically portrays the peculiarities of human relationship and paradoxes of Indian daily life, and his style is graceful and marked by genial humor. His style is graceful and marked by genial humor, elegance, and simplicity. Okay, elegance and simple simplicity. Okay, so in short, you can say that R.K. Narayan is a person who got the Sahitya Academy Award, and he represented to the foreign country in America with the help of this university, Michigan University, Michigan State University. Okay, so whatever, in short, his stories are totally related to the human relationship. Now let's come to the and Astrologer Day, what we are waiting for. Okay, so astrologer means astrologer, Jyotish. Okay, so if I talk about what is Astrologer Day, so it is the days of the Jyotish, right? It is the day of the Jyotish. Let's come to the topic now. Punctually at midday. Okay, punctually at midday, he opened his bag and spread out his professional equipment. Okay, punctually at midday. Okay, punctually at midday, which means in the afternoon, he opened his bag. Who? An astrologer opened his bag and spread out his professional equipment. Now look, like now well, whenever we will read now, just you also try to imagine it. I will also create the story, but you also have to imagine it. Punctually at midday. Punctually means every day. At the same time, he is opening his bag and spreading out his professional equipment. Who? An astrologer spreading out his professional equipment. Okay, his tools and all, right? Which consisted of dozen query. Okay, cowrie. So which consisted of a sea animal shells, a square piece of cloth with obscure, okay, with obscure mystic charts on it. So there is a shells are there, like he is putting shell, he's opening his bag, and from the bag he's taking the shell, he's taking the shell, he's picking the shell and putting on the, and after that the square cloth, and there is a printer there, then there is a notebook, then there is a bundle of palmria, like palm writing, okay, bundle are there, palm writing book, and his forehead was resplendent with sacred ash. Okay, his forehead is actually resplendent, okay, bright, dazzling, impressive. You can see from the pictures also, his forehead is resplendent with sacred ash. Okay, sacred, which means related to the religion, ash, and vermilion, vermilion, which means it's very unique, and his eyes sparkled with a sharp abnormal gleam. His eyes sparkled with a sharp abnormal gleam. Okay, his eyes is with a sparkled with a sharp abnormal gleam, which was really an outcome of a continual searching look for customer. Okay, so now the writer is talking about his eyes. His eyes is very sharp and gleaming, which was really waiting for the client, searching for the customer, but but which his simple clients took to be a prophetic light and felt comforted. So by looking at him, the clients, which means the customer, are looking towards him, so they feel comforted. The power of his eyes was considerably increased by their position place, as they were between the painted forehead and dark whisker which streamed down his cheek. So now the writer is explaining about his eyes. The eyes is looking very powerful, because it is just near the sacred ash forehead. Even a half even a half eyes would even a half bit eyes would sparkle in such a setting. So the half eyes also is sparkled in such a setting, because setting means the environment, the surrounding. To crown the effect, he wound a saffron colored turban around his head. Turban, which is nothing but a hat what he is wearing. So how, like, he is looking more and more astrologer, so he's putting turban also. This color scheme never filled. Okay, so the color scheme what he's wearing never going to be filled. It was suitable, it was matching. People were attracted to him as bees are attracted to cosmos or the Hylia stocks. So here the writer is saying that the people are attracted to the astrologer when the bees are attracted to the beehive or stallion. Okay, like this. So explaining about the analogy the writer is giving over here. And he sat under the boughs of spreading tamarind tree. So he sat under the tree. Okay, under the boughs of trees. He sat near the tree. Okay, which flanked a path running through the town hall park. Okay, which flanked the path running to the town hall path. Okay, which flank a path running through the town hall park. He sat under the boughs of tamarind tree. So he's sitting near under the tree, which flank a path running through the, so the path of the where he is sitting, there was a path, and it is going towards the town hall park. There was a town hall park. So that lane only he was sitting over there, and there was a tamarind tree, and under the tamarind tree he was sitting, and he was doing his business. It was a remarkable place in many ways. Okay, the place was very remarkable in many ways. A surging, a surging ground was always moving up and down this narrow road from morning till night. So this place was very famous because, in many ways, the one way is there was always a crowd. There is always a crowd over there. There is always a crowd. Always. Okay. For a morning till night, a variety of trades and occupation was represented all along its way. There are different occupation, like apart from astrologer, there is other trading occupation was also there. Like here examples are given. Watch which kind of sellers: medicine sellers, sellers of stolen hardware, junk, magician, and and above all. So there is a different people are also selling in this market, like some hardware seller, medicine seller, okay, junk, magicians are also there, and above all, an auctioneer of cheap clothes. Auctioneer is nothing but the thela wala. In Hindi we can say it's a cheap cloth who created enough money all day to attract the whole town. So there is and above all, there was a one auctioneer who is selling the cheap cloth, and he is earning a lots of money whole town. Just this next to him, the cheap cloth wala. Next to him, there is a vociferous came a vendor of a freed groundnut. Groundnut is nothing but Mumbai wala. So there was a person who is vociferous, like who is raising his voice, and he's selling a groundnut on his vendor, who gave his who gave his wear a fancy name each day, calling it Bombay ice cream one day, and next day Delhi almond, and on the third day Raja's delicacy, and so on and so forth. So here the writer is explaining that apart from astrologer, there are other people are also doing their business, also selling something else, like medicine seller, magicians are there selling a cheap cloth, and next to the cheap cloth there is a auctioneer is there. Okay, there is a vendor is also there who is selling the groundnut, and his style is very different. Okay, he is very loud noise. He's speaking in the very loud noise. He is selling his groundnut in a very loud noise. In every day he is using different words. The one day he is saying Bombay delicacy, next day Raja delicacy. Okay, so different name, Delhi almond, like this, clear, so forth. And people flock to him when he's selling in this way. The people flock to him, which means people are looking at him. A considerable portion of this crowd, okay, daylight before the astrologer too. So wasted time and just hanging around. So there is a considerable portion before the astrologer. So there is a one type of portion before the astrologer, they are wasted time. Before astrologer, which means in front of the astrologer, they are wasting the time. Astrologer transacted his business. The astrologer transacted his business by the light of a flare. Okay, an astrologer transacted his business. So he is doing his business. A light of flare which crackled and smoked up above the groundnut heap nearby. So with the help of this Mumfali wala, because of his vendor light, he is doing his business. There are some kind of lights are coming from the nearby, and spook it also, and half the enchantment Half the magical effect of the place was due to the fact that it did not have a benefit of municipality. So in the market there is no municipal light, government lights are there. So because of that, the effects of the astrologers in the location was looking more beautiful. Okay, the place was lit up by the shop lights, and this place was actually totally lit up by the shop lights. If the shop light will be closed, it will be totally dark. One or two had hissing gas lights, so there is a one gas lights also there. Some had naked flares stuck on poles, some had the lights on the poles, some were lit up by the old cycle lamps. One or two like this astrologer, one or two are like this, like astrologer, like managing without lights of their own. They are taking help from other, like they are sitting nearby where there is a other lights are also shadowing, and it was bewildering, it was very confusing, baffling crisscross of lights, rays, and moving shadows. So the light he is doing is this, and there are crisscross lights are coming on him. Okay, because of shadow, the people are moving here and there, and this suited the astrologer very well. So this location, the scene is suited the astrologer very well, for the simple reason that he had not in the least intended to be an astrologer when he began life. So basically, when he began life, he was not an astrologer, and he knew no more of what was going to happen to others when he knew what was going on happens to himself next minute. Actually, as an astrologer, even himself he don't know what is going to be happen in his life next minute, and then also he is giving advising to the people. He was as much as stranger to the stars as were his innocent customer. So he was in front of the customer, he was stranger, like stranger to the stars. Okay, and yet he said things, and yet he said things which please astonize everyone. So he is saying those things which people are accepting, and that was more of matter of study, practice, and shrewd guesswork. So that was more of, but you will going to say those things, or if the people like you, and there is some kind of practice are there, guesswork is there. All the same, it was as much as honest man labor as any other, and deserved the wages he carried home end of the day. So after all, like he is doing a work, who is doing his work, so he will get waging also at the end of the day. He had left his village without any previous thought or plan. So now the writer is telling about his story. He had left his village. Okay, he is living in a different village. Now he is working in a different village. He left his old village, and he doesn't have any kind of plan what to do. If he had continued there, if he had continued there, which means old village, he would have carried on the work of forefather, like namely tiling, land living, marrying, and gardening of his confined ancestral home. So if he had lived in his own village, old village, so definitely he had to do his uh, he had to do is that work of ancestor related work, like protecting the land, ripening, cultivation. But that was not to be. He had to leave home without telling anyone, but that was not to be. Writer is saying that he had to leave his home without saying anyone, without telling anyone, and he could not rest till he left behind a couple of 100 miles. Okay, so I think so the writer is trying to explaining us, like the astrologer done something in his life, so that's why he had to leave that village and settle in another village without saying anyone. Okay, and he is not getting, and why, and he came very far away, miles, 100 miles. To a villager it is a great deal, as if an ocean flowed between. So to a villager it's a very great deal if the ocean flowed between. And he had working analysis of mankind troubles. So he had a working analysis of mankind troubles, marriage. So what he is doing, he is working for, as astrologer he is working for marriage related problem, money, tangles of human ties. Long practice had sharpened his perception. I'm stopping here now, like there are a few pictures are there. Okay, so in the next part we will try and complete.